Phoenix, KESC, HD2 Phoenix, an iHeart radio station.
To the stadium, but that's about it against number 2 Michigan.
JJ takes a snap, hands it off to Korn, plows forward behind his offensive line into the end zone. The officials come running in. We await the call, and now they say touchdown. Well, it took a minute, but he was in the blue, and the Wolverines lead it 13-0.
The Michigan Radio Network Quorum, 66 yards on the ground, 1 touchdown for the number 2 Michigan Wolverines. 23-0, they lead ECU early third quarter. Halftime in Knoxville, where number 12 Tennessee has a 21-3 edge over Virginia. Lost quarterback Joe Milton III, 1 touchdown through the air, 1 on the ground. Halftime, number 17 TCU trailing Colorado 17-14, a game that can be seen on Fox television. Jace Feely hit a 49-yard field goal at the end of the second quarter to give the Buffs the lead. I'm Brian Fenley.
This is the Parker & Sons Weather Center. For all your AC, plumbing, and electric needs, call Parker.
Scattered clouds and an occasional shower possible for the morning hours. Will top out, though, under sunny skies this afternoon. The high about 96 degrees. Overnight, fair skies at 82. For the Fox 10 weather experts, I'm Corey McCloskey.
This report is sponsored by Discover.
Bank of America has powerful digital solutions for local and global businesses, so you can make every move matter. Visit bankofamerica.com/banking for business to learn more. Bank of America, N.A. Copyright 2023.
Hello, you sound very scratchy.
Time for Arizona's only local sports gambling radio show.
Yeah, it still doesn't sound right.
Powered by the Sportsbook at CAZ
We do in Jackson.
Casino, Arizona.
Oh, there we go. It's just really loud.
Sports betting opinions, analysis, and advice.
Just keep talking, Richie, if it sounds better words for it. Like when you're at the eye
Yeah, you just keep peeking is all.
Fox Sports 9.
You keep popping your peas.
Radio app.
Go work. Your life.
Good Saturday morning to you. Mike Bauer, Mike Gross, Jackson Groff out at a jam-packed CAZ Sports Bar, Casino, Arizona, Loop 101 in McKellips. Come on out, say hello, hang out with us, watch some fantasy drafts going on. That time of year, Jackson, we got real football on all the TVs. Nothing is being preempted or whatever we did last week.
No USFL, XFL exhibitions. We've got actual college football with actual meaningful games.
Games that count for reals, as the kids like to say. Jackson, you have a good week?
I had a great week. I mean, obviously busy. I'm excited. 5 straight days of college football. What we saw on Thursday and Friday. Obviously, we'll talk on the show about ASU and stuff going on with the Arizona Cardinals. But overall, good week. Great weather yesterday, man.
Oh, man. That storm that impacted the ASU game, that was a little – I was glad it came through, but it woke me – no, I wasn't asleep, but figuratively woke me up with a thunderclap literally over my house.
Really?
Like right over the top of my house.
Wow.
I looked at the dog looked at me, and we were like, nah, right?
Yeah, dogs do not do well in thunder.
This one's all right. We've had dogs that freaked out. This one's okay, but he looked at me because that even got his attention. But you're right. Football, we will talk about ASU. We will talk about the Cardinals. But big news. Big news. Coming up in 20 minutes.
I'm not even going to say his name. I think our fans, the people who are friends of the show know we've got Mr. Marco D'Angelo coming on in 27 minutes.
I know you were practicing your intro for him, getting ready.
I can't waste my vocals now, but I'm looking forward. It might be a little louder than most Marcos,
right?
Because he's coming back.
Because of the excitement. Guess who's back, baby? Marco D'Angelo,
100%.
back like he never left. But no games. We're not picking games with Marco. We're just kind of reintroducing Marco to the program. Check how his summer was. And maybe some of the things he's looking at as college football starts, as the NFL starts, as we re-engage with the great team up at wagertalk.com.
Yeah, and I'm interested. Maybe he'll even sneak a little future that he's got his eyes on. Maybe in a conference winner, or maybe a college football playoff, or a team to make the college football playoff, and maybe even give his thoughts about Colorado leading by 3 at half and where the money was, because I think majority of the people we're on TCU. Even first half lines were going towards TCU.
Yeah, it was crazy the attention that this game's getting. And they flashed a graphic as they went to the locker rooms from Fort Worth that this is the first time that Colorado has led at the half since September of 2021.
Huge.
So you play the entire rest of the 21 season, all of the 22 season, and you never lead at half. And now they are. So Deion Sanders' effect is in full view. If you're watching that game, we'll keep you updated on that, of course, as we go along. So we are out here, and it is absolutely packed. It's wonderful to see Fantasy Draft on our right, and we got another one. We got a huge table set up on our left. If you're out and about, though, there's plenty of room for you. Come on out. Get yourself a cool drink. It's still a little toasty out. Wonderful menu. I just had a blackened chicken sandwich. Now I'm going to go on record, and everybody that listens to the show knows we are fans of the breakfast sandwich.
Only the breakfast sandwich.
They haven't brought it back yet. They're telling us it might be out there, but we will say that the chicken sandwich, the blackened chicken sandwich, it was a good plan B. How about that? A good plan B. So we enjoyed that. All right. We got our pick of the week from our good friend Ryan Sirk, our national champion. That's coming up, the EPL pick of the week, I should say, in just a few minutes. And as I said, Marco D'Angelo with us at 11:30. He will be with us every Saturday morning from now until the Super Bowl. That's Marco D'Angelo exclusively here on Take the Points on Fox Sports 910. And then we've got an interesting, and I'm going to let you set this one up. We've got an interesting collaboration that you, Bauer, and I are involved in, and we're going to introduce that in the second half of the show.
Yeah, so we're excited to use the Action Network as our home to place our bets. And for those who follow the show or want to follow us, you can follow our account at Take the Points, so you can see what kind of bets we're looking at. Even we'll place before the show. Maybe there's some early games.
Right.
Like say, hey, Gross, I like the first half lines for Colorado. You can post it in the morning. And maybe you're, okay, I agree with him, and maybe a little explanation, too, on why he likes that certain bet. So I'm excited for this. I put a lot of my futures on already, specifically Arizona over 4.5 wins.
You and I will settle this discussion before the show is over.
100%. But I put those in beforehand so we can remember later on in the season, okay, he had so-and-so going to the playoff, or Notre Dame's odds to make the CFP earlier in the season. So I'm excited to work with them. We're going to have William Bohr from Action Network to kind of explain what you guys at home can do to kind of be a cooperative and be a part of the show.
And then one of our favorite segments of the week, Casey from the Sportsbook here at Casino Arizona. He joins us
with a new open today.
It was well done, new open, and that comes up at about 12:30 or so. So jam-packed show today as we get rolling on a Saturday. But Jackson, ASU, Southern Utah, typically you can't take a lot away from a Pac-12 team against I don't know what conference Southern Utah's in. They're in the WAC now. They used to be in the Big Sky.
Yeah. So
they're moving over to the WAC, 1AA conference with a lot of Texas teams. That's what I know. But Southern Utah, they looked like what you would expect in the first half, but then this nasty weather blew through, dust storms, rain, lightning, and the teams ended up spending 2 hours in the locker room until they were able to play the second half. Game ended at 1 a.m. thereabouts. And ASU didn't look great in the second half. And on the one hand, you don't want to overreact to that. You don't want to say, oh, my goodness, what happened? But on the other hand, ASU should be able to get more than 3 points no matter the situation against a team like Southern Utah in the second half of the game.
100%. And when you're a 31-point favorite, it's what you expected, but also at the same time, a lot of different pieces moving with the coaching staff, with a freshman quarterback, a bunch of transfers like Cameron Scottaball. I was a fan of him on Thursday.
Right.
17 carries, 71 yards, and 1 touchdown, as well as Xavier Guillory. So those two coming from the Big Sky Conference. We talked about the Big Sky Conference. They're transfers, and they came in. I thought they looked great. But I agree with you, Gross. A little rocky second half, but it's one of those things like, okay, we got the win. Being in a locker room for 2 hours, not knowing when you were going to play. And it's tough as a player, too, because I've never been through a weather delay, but especially they're going to get updates. Okay, maybe in 30 minutes we're going to play. So maybe Dillingham's, all right, everyone get loose. And then 30 minutes, it's going to be another hour.
And I appreciate that perspective, but what was Southern Utah doing during those 2 hours?
The exact same thing.
So, that's my thing. I get it. It's difficult. It's challenging. You don't prepare for that. But neither does your opposition. But I think the best takeaway is you got the win, 24-21 over Southern Utah. You get some stuff on film. The good stuff, you focus on that. The bad stuff, you try to correct that, and you get ready for a big game coming up next week. I mean, this is where you start playing for real because I will go on record. This is my official breakdown of next Saturday's game. Oklahoma State, they're not Southern Utah. How about that? You pay top dollar for that type of assessment. But no, seriously. You got a lot of work to get this thing pointed in the direction you want it to go.
I think it's going to be cool, too, to see. I mean, you got young Kenny Dillingham versus, Mike Gundy, who's been coaching probably as long as Kenny Dillingham's been alive.
One of the all-time characters in college football.
Exactly. It's going to be cool to see, Lincoln Riley against Kenny Dillingham and all these kind of matchups. But I mean, the sky's the limit. I mean, obviously, Jaden Rashada being quarterback, the future's bright for ASU.
Major League Baseball, the Diamondbacks still in the playoff hunt. Big win for the Snakes last night, 4-2 over a really good and really surprising Baltimore Orioles team. They played game 2 of the 3-game weekend set at the stadium later on today. 5:10 first pitch for that one. But no, I was watching that. I was in studio last night doing my radio show and watching that game. And, hey, they went toe-to-toe with a really, really quality baseball team. Like I said, a surprising team. But nonetheless, they got the win, and they being the Diamondbacks, continue to hang in there in that wild card race. Now, the one thing you are concerned about if you're an Arizona Diamondbacks fan and want to see them in the postseason is you have no tiebreakers against any of these teams you're competing for. So you got to win it outright. You've got to win it outright, and they've got some huge games coming up where they've got the 2 games remaining with the Orioles. They've got 7 games remaining with the Cubs, who are in the playoff race. And I should correct myself. That tiebreaker between the Cubs and Diamondbacks not yet to be determined. But you've got some work to do, and you're going to want to win it outright.
I hate to interrupt you, Gross, but Colorado just scored another touchdown. They're up 24-14. This is absolutely insane. No one thought they were going to come in there and be this fundamentally sound with 18 transfers out of 22 spots starting for the Colorado Buffs. Sorry to interrupt you about the D-backs, Gross. This is absolutely insane.
This is insane, and whatever happens, wins or losses, one of the top stories that we'll be following all through the college football season is the Colorado Buffaloes and their reemergence as at least a named program under Deion Sanders. All right, it's time for our EPL Pick of the Week from our friend Ryan Sirk, our national champion. And Ryan's hit a little bit of a skid, but we have confidence in him. We know he'll be all right. And this week's pick from Ryan is Arsenal versus Manchester United. He's on the over 2.5 goals on this one. Got to hit it. Both teams have been shaky recently, but he believes they can come together and put 3 goals on the scoreboard in that match. Arsenal, Manchester, take that 2.5 over, according to our national champion, Ryan Sirk. We do our EPL Pick of the Week every Saturday at this time.
We need Ryan Sirk to get us back in winning circuits, if you will. See what I did there?
I see. We had a little text exchange going last night. I just gave him a little attaboy, like back in the saddle. You kind of hit him hard, a little tough love to get him to get his mind right.
Have to. I mean, he's a national champion. That's something that he has over us. He's been in moments where they need him most. We need you, Ryan. All
right, we'll step aside here. On the other side, we're going to dive into the National Football League. We've got some interesting news from the Cardinals, overblown as usual. Newsflash, Jackson, Cardinals aren't going to be any good this year.
Ooh.
Really? Is that breaking news? We'll talk about it next right here on Fox Sports 910.
Take the points. Powered by the Sportsbook at CAZ Sports Bar in Casino, Arizona continues next on Fox Sports 910 and the free iHeartRadio app. All season long, your home for some of the biggest and best games of the NFL season are right here on Fox Sports 910. On Fox Sports 910. Presented by HornCars.com. That's HORNE Cars.com.
Football is here, and Rock and Manuch are hosting the Watch Win Wager Kickoff Party in the CAZ Sports Bar at Casino, Arizona, Thursday, September 7th. Cash prizes all game plus a chance to take home a 75-inch smart TV. It's the Watch Win Wager Kickoff Party, Thursday, September 7th at Casino, Arizona.
I'm attorney Kevin Rowe. Have you been charged with a crime you didn't commit? It happens more than you think. When your liberty is on the line, you need an experienced attorney that will aggressively fight for you. Lerner & Rowe Law Group handles DUI and all other criminal charges. And with our affordable payment plans, it's easier than you think to get the defense you need. If the police made a mistake, call Lerner & Rowe today. We're available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
Are you ready for the ultimate sports experience? Look no further than BKD's Backyard Joint. At BKD's, we're the destination for the best food, drinks, and sports experience in the Valley. Located at the corner of Pecos and McQueen and Chandler, BKD's Backyard Joint, where every day is game day.
Any car dealer in Arizona can compete on price. That's what dealers do. But not many dealers can compete on customer satisfaction. Like Wright Toyota. Make the right choice. Wright Toyota in Scottsdale. Just off the 101 on Frank Lloyd Wright Boulevard. And online at WrightToyota.com.
Sun Devil football hosts.
Yeah, keep the kids in shape, man.
Highly anticipated.
This younger generation
on Saturday, September 9th.
Off the rails.
3 p.m. for the annual Blackout Game. Make Mountain America Stadium echo from the Butte when the Cowboys come to town. Single game and mini plan options are available to watch the Sun Devils take on Oklahoma State. Get your tickets today by calling 480-727-0000 or go online to SunDevilTickets.com. Be loud and wear black.
Sexy status roof guy. Not for roofing. Needs.
What you heat and get indoors at Stay cool and having a blast with family and friends. Visit Putting World today.
We're your neighbors. You should stop by for a visit. We're Casino Arizona. Come on in. Our slots are spinning, our dealers are dealing, and everyone's yelling bingo. Isn't it time you see relax, enjoy yourself. We'd love to see you again. This place was named and changed. We're your Casino Arizona.
Got the urge to pick games each week? Thursday, Sunday, even Mondays? Then sign up now for the Twin Peaks Fan Pickups. See Blue Moon and Coors Light. It's totally free. .com. It's fanpick.com.
Did you know you could get your prescriptions for less at your local pharmacy? You can with GoodRx. It's the front that can save you money on your medications. Just search for your prescription, choose the pharmacy and the price that works best for you, and then show your GoodRx coupon to your pharmacist at the drop-off counter. GoodRx works at over 70,000 pharmacies, including Walmart, Rite Aid, and Walgreens, and it works whether you have insurance or not. It's easy to save. Next time you drop off your prescription, check GoodRx. To start saving today, go to GoodRx.com. GoodRx is not insurance.
Are you a business owner, CEO, or responsible for marketing? If you are, iHeartMedia can help you reach your goals and find new customers. We reach more consumers in your target area than anyone else. And we can give you access to those potential customers more cost-effectively across radio, digital, podcasting, and social. We'd like to show you how iHeartMedia can work for you. From your cell dial, hit 1250 and say,
I haven't listened to it. It's in there somewhere. I know we have it.
and say, great results.
Back to Take the Points, powered by the Sportsbook at CAZ Sports Bar in Casino, Arizona, exclusively on Fox Sports 910.
Rolling along on a Saturday morning. In case you missed the news, Jimmy Buffett passed away overnight.
R.I.P.
Iconic.
I know who he was, too. Bauer said I didn't know who he was.
Come on, you live in a rock.
I'm not that young and dumb.
Your dad driving around and you listen to Jimmy Buffett with your pops, right? I mean, listen, what's this music?
Obviously, Elton John was the go-to, but Jimmy Buffett, yeah, I've heard some of his. I'm definitely on the boat in the lake, R.I.P.
There you go.
Wish his family, in their keep them in our prayers, wish them well. But yeah, definitely a tough time for the Buffetts today.
Nice job, Richie. Hey, NFL over/under totals, and obviously we'll start here locally. We got Marco D'Angelo coming up in our next segment, and I just think it's pretty interesting now that all of a sudden when people are searching for a narrative, the narrative is, oh my gosh, the Cardinals are going to be better this year. If you didn't see that coming all the way back to February, then you weren't paying attention. And here's the thing that I don't understand. How were the Cardinals just going to be bad? And when they released Colt McCoy, they went in full tank mode. What is the number going to change? Like, help me understand what Colt McCoy was going to do to move that win total significantly.
Yeah, I mean, he's old. 37 years old. So
He's
the fact that him leaving.
He had a remarkable career as a backup quarterback. This is not a knock on Colt McCoy, but Colt McCoy and this team, this roster, this coaching staff, it wasn't going to move the needle. You can say, well, the total's 3.5 now when it was 4.5, maybe. And the line moves based on where the money is, not dependent on what quarterback you released.
I mean, on the bright side of all this, you're going to see a lot of rookies getting a bunch of playing time, and we've seen, teams like the Chiefs and Seahawks play the rookies, and obviously, they're talented teams that make the playoffs in the Super Bowl, but you're relying on this rookie class. And if Monty Ossenfort can say, okay, I killed the rookie class. All the rookies especially made the roster too, which is rare to see.
Exactly.
First to 7th round, even a guy like Kytrell Clark, who was drafted late, like 6th, 5th round, is going to be in that cornerback rotation. You got B.J. Ojolari, you got Michael Wilson. So you got a lot of moving pieces, which also, matter of fact, Michael Wilson is older than Rondale Moore. Did you know that?
I did not know that.
Isn't that crazy?
That is crazy. And no, I agree with that 100%. You're putting a system in place and you're cleaning up a roster that was an absolute disaster. We said this last year. Like if you would have went position group by position group and ranked the Cardinals roster that Steve Keim put together going into the 2022 season, it's half the league in virtually every position. Maybe a little bit higher because of who you had in the wide receiver room with DeAndre Hopkins, but he ended up missing 6 games. So this was not a good roster. So this wasn't come in and clean some stuff up. This was come in, blow it up, and start over from square one. And just what you said, in the NFL, you can do only so much through free agency. Right?
Yeah.
You fill a hole, you get a key player here, a key player there, maybe you bring in a vet that can help you out. But you do not build a roster through free agency in the National Football League. You've got to do it through good drafting, sound drafting, and as you said, that you draft a year from now, 2 years from now, 3 years from now. And that's what I think they're starting to do. So is it going to be a miserable season if you're a Cardinals fan from a win-loss perspective? Absolutely it is. If you need something to distract yourself from how bad the Cardinals are, go root against the Houston Texans every week while you're at it, because that's really what you're looking for. The next big thing for the Arizona Cardinal fans, honestly, Jackson, is the upcoming draft after this 2023 season.
Yeah, because, there's 2 players in this draft, Marvin Harrison Jr. obviously being the second pick if they've got 2 in the top 3, but Caleb Williams as well. I understand Kyler Murray's in the situation right now where he's a starting quarterback, very talented guy when he's on the field and he's healthy. However, his contract, they could save so much money by releasing him, taking the guaranteed money to the heart and just moving on. But when you talk about teams that have had those draft picks stay around for 3, 4, 5, 6 years, I mean, the 49ers, George Kittle, 5th round pick.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, Brock Purdy, 7th round pick. Fred Warner, 3rd round pick. Dre Greenlaw, 5th round pick. So these are guys that they've drafted in lower rounds. Even Talana Hufanga, who was the all-pro safety last year. Thank you, Bauer. Thank you, Bauer.
Well, and Bauer, you know this. You're a fan of the Chicago Bears. People forget that the Bears were the worst team in the National Football League by virtue of the fact that they got that number 1 pick. And you have 2 options. Jackson just called it. Like, you can try to parlay this and get 1 and 2 and get, your quarterback and wide receiver of the future, or you can do what the Bears did and blow it up and turn a number 1 draft pick into a ton of pick. Thank you very much, Carolina Panthers. So there's more than one way to look at this if you're a Cardinals fan.
I saw some people trying to, I don't know if they were just doing mental gymnastics themselves or what have you, but trying to say that, Kyler Murray might not play this year. Look, if you're the Arizona Cardinals, you absolutely have to play as much Kyler Murray as possible.
Sure.
Because if you make the decision this year under a new regime from the top down, general manager, head coach, every level, new regime with this team, if it is determined that Kyler Murray is the quarterback of the future, he's already paid like that, then you can absolutely get a king's ransom for the 1st overall pick. The best case scenario for the Cardinals this year is they are bad with Kyler Murray, but not because of Kyler Murray. And he proves that I am the quarterback of the future. Now you turn the number 1, again, best case scenario, pie in the sky, is you have the 1 and 2 pick, and you end up going trade, wide receiver.
Yep.
Yeah. That's what you do. Big trade because now your big trade, if you're going to get 2, maybe 2
Look
and
at
a
the haul
player.
the Bears got.
The Bears got 2 first-round picks and a Pro Bowl caliber player in DJ Moore. And if you can get that, which granted the Trey Lance, the failure of that trade is going to change the market.
Yeah, it is.
It is. I mean, you aren't going to get 4 first-round picks. That's just crazy talk that anybody would think that. But if Caleb Williams is 1, you're going to get a king's ransom for that pick. Best case scenario for the Cardinals. Kyler plays. They're bad. They get 1 and 2. They trade 1.
I like Pat McAfee. I love him on College Game Day. That clip of him this week talking about Kyler Murray, his gut feeling, that's nonsense. I mean, that's clickbait. That's what it was, because there is no way if Kyler Murray is cleared medically that he doesn't play. I mean, the Cardinals are already in trouble for shenanigans back in the. Guess what? Steve Keim was a bad GM. News at 11, or film at 11.
Did you get that on your burner phone?
If they sat a healthy Kyler Murray all year long, I can't imagine the reign of terror that the NFL office would bring down on them.
That would be malpractice.
Even as a player perspective, too, you'd like when Kyler Murray got hurt, people were expecting him to be back late October, November. It's coming out that he's going to come maybe even after 4 games in mid to late September. So it's kind of a slap in the face for a guy like Kyler Murray, who's been one kicking ass, being there at 6:30 a.m. every single day doing PT and trying to get back quicker than expected for his team.
People have all kinds of feeling about Kyler Murray. I think he's handled this offseason, post-injury, as better than anybody could have expected. All right, we're going to table this conversation. It's going to be going on all year long. But if you notice this, Jackson's kind of excited, a little amped up right now.
Yeah, he gets to yell into the microphone very soon.
We're going to step aside here. On the other side, we come back and welcome for the 2023 season back. He's back, Jackson. Marco D'Angelo of WagerTalk.com. That's coming up next on Fox Sports 910.
Take the points. Powered by the Sportsbook at CAZ Sports Bar in Casino, Arizona continues next on Fox Sports 910 and the free radio app.
Neighbors, you should stop for a visit. Arizona. Come in. Our slots are spinning, our deals are dealing, and everyone. It's about time you see your friends again. So say stay relax. Enjoy yourself. We'd love to see you again. Hey, this place was made to entertain. We're your casino, Arizona.
Time for a new big screen TV? Twin Peaks, Blue Moon, and Coors Light are giving away 5 65-inch smart TVs. Text PEAKS to 59925. Standard message and data rates apply. That's PEAKS to 59925.
We're your neighbors. You should stop by for a visit. We're Casino, Arizona. Come on in. Our slots are spinning, our dealers are dealing, and everyone's yelling bingo. Isn't it about time you see your friends again? So stop by to say hello. Stay a while. Relax. Enjoy yourself. We'd love to see you again. Hey, this place was made to entertain. We're your casino, Arizona.
Hey, this is Kelly Cooper. Are you ready for the ultimate sports experience? Look no further than BKD's Backyard Joint. At BKD's, we're the destination.
I think the Marco D'Angelo Open got deleted.
The corner of Pecos and McQueen and Chandler, BKD's Backyard Joint, where every day is game day.
The people of Arizona have voted, and the results are official. Lerner Rowe has won again.
All right, yeah.
Best personal injury.
Because I know Rock was in here cleaning up a bunch of stuff that doesn't get. He must have told Darren to delete Marco,
So
but
popular, we've helped over 150,000 injured people recover billions of dollars for their injuries, and over $1 billion in the last 5 years alone. We're recovering more money for more people than any other law firm in Arizona. Call us today.
Lerner and Rowe is the way to go. Call 977-1900.
Tune in Mondays from 1 to 4 as Rock and Manooch with Jimmy B broadcasts live from the CAZ Sportsbook in Casino, Arizona. The Sportsbook at the CAZ Sports Bar in Casino, Arizona is sports fans' paradise. That's the guys live every Monday from CAZ Sportsbook in Casino, Arizona.
Hey, this is Kelly Cooper. Are you ready for the ultimate sports experience? Look no further than BKD's Backyard Joint. At BKD's, we're not just a sports bar. We're the destination for the best food, drinks, and sports experience in the Valley. Located at the corner of Pecos and McQueen and Chandler, get ready to score big on fun and flavor. Only at BKD's Backyard Joint, where every day is game day. Check us out online at bkdsbackyard.com. That's bkdsbackyard.com.
Got the urge to pick games each week? Thursday, Sunday, even Mondays? Then sign up now for the Twin Peaks Fan Pick'em, courtesy of Blue Moon and Coors Light. It's totally free to play. Head to fanpick'em.com. That's fanpick'em.com.
This is Joan, enjoying some me time up on the rim. This is Simon and his friends paddling the Salt River. And this is Brad. Brad is, well, no one knows where Brad is. What they all have in common is that they went to azmvdnow.gov to quickly and easily renew their registration or 30 other services. So go to azmvdnow.gov and get more time to enjoy all the things you love.
Sponsored by ADOT in partnership with the Arizona Broadcasters Association and this station.
Why is iHeartRadio the #1 streaming radio app?
Free music.
Free live radio stations from all over the country.
Free podcasts. Free playlists.
Free artist stations.
Commercial-free stations. It's free. I love iHeartRadio.
Join the millions of music, radio, and podcast fans on the #1 streaming radio app now.
iHeartRadio.
iHeartRadio.
Free never sounded so good.
This is The Odd Couple with Chris Broussard and Rob Parker.
I know it's been nearly 30 years since they won the Super Bowl, or even got to one, or even an NFC championship game for that matter. But I still am of the belief that it's Super Bowl or bust for the Cowboys.
With Chris Broussard and Rob Parker. Monday at 4 on your smart speaker. Say play Fox Sports 910.
Yep, he's on.
Back to Take the Points. Powered by the Sportsbook at CAZ Sports Bar in Casino, Arizona. Exclusively on Fox Sports 910.
Well, we got to get it out of the way, Jackson. It's that time of the week when we head up to Las Vegas, and welcome back regular contributor and, more importantly, friend of the program from WagerTalk.com. It's Marco D'Angelo.
Marco!
How are you guys doing? I missed that intro.
We missed you too, Marco.
Jackson was here like 2.5 hours before the show, Marco, and he was up here on our set. He was practicing that. He was so excited that you were coming back and going to be with us every Saturday through the Super Bowl. So that shows you where his head's at.
I appreciate it, guys. I really do.
Marco, the college football season got started kind of in a little bit of a fashion last Saturday. You know, games for real up and down, and then the NFL starts again on Thursday. And we are so excited that Wager Talk and, more importantly, Marco D'Angelo will be with us every Saturday throughout the course of the football season. But Marco, what's going on at Wager Talk? A lot of our listeners know you and know about Wager Talk, but we got a lot of new listeners as well. We're out here at the casino. It's jam-packed today with people doing their fantasy draft. So people that aren't familiar with Wager Talk, give them kind of that update so they know what they can expect as we engage with you throughout the course of the year.
Well, guys, if you go to the site, we provide a ton of free information. We have daily shows that we do covering all sports. We have so many great guides that we put together. Our guy, I call him Stat Daddy, Ralph Michaels, he puts together so many things against the spread and returning starters, different things that you can look at, help you in your own handicapping. They're all free. Go to the site. You can download all of that stuff or watch the videos. And, of course, we do offer our selections for sale. If you like to jump on board, that is available too. But there is more free information available at the site than any other site out there. And I know you've downloaded several of the guides over the years, Mike, and you know what kind of quality they are and how helpful they are for the season.
I think you should put me on the payroll, Marco, because I've downloaded it and then I see how good it is, and I send it off to friends. I mean, it is that good, and as you said, it's free, it's quality information. And most importantly, there's knowledge there that helps people do the right thing and get into this, take a little of the emotion out of it and be a little bit thoughtful about it. The other thing, Marco, that we love about WagerTalk.com, and, we've had sports gambling now here in Arizona for about a little over a year officially, but people are new to it, right? And your the 101, Sports Gambling 101 section is amazing. When somebody comes up to you and says, I'm afraid to ask this, but what's a money line? Things like that, they're getting new. They want to kind of enjoy it. You guys educate, which is an important part of this thing.
Absolutely. I mean, as you said, not only have you guys in Arizona, but, all across the country in the last couple of years, we've seen so many states take on sports betting, and there's more coming. And people aren't, familiar with it. Maybe they only, bet whenever they had come to Vegas over the years and, they make a couple bets. But if you want to do it and do it successfully, you got to know what everything is. And it can be a little bit intimidating. And we try to, I don't want to say we dummy it down, but we make it so that everybody can, understand it. And then as you grow, and with the other shows that we have in that, we take you on a more advanced journey of understanding the ins and outs and how to read the market. when a line is moving. Is it really moving because, it's public money, or is it sharp money? And we can get you to understand all of the nuances of sports betting.
And nuance is something that a very veteran gambler would understand, or at least hope to understand. But really, one of the things that I love is the fact that Wager Talk, it has something for everybody in terms of, all right, if I'm just walking up to the window here at Casino Arizona at the Sportsbook for the first time, or if I'm here putting down thousands of dollars in cash every single week, and maybe even somebody close to you making a living out of this, is Wager Talk works in all directions in terms of your experience and even the comfortable ability, not a word, but I'm using it in terms of, hey, if I'm betting $1 or I'm betting 1,000.
Absolutely. It doesn't matter the size of bettor you are. You want to be a good bettor, and knowledge is power. And we want to provide you with all of that stuff. And we talk about the different things that the common mistakes that, people make. And we try to do that in the shows and, guide you through not making those. 'Cause I'll tell you what, this is my 44th year doing this as a professional sports handicapper and bettor. And guys, let me tell you, it didn't happen overnight. I had my share of hard knocks. You learn the hard way. But, those experiences that we have had, we can guide you through so you don't step in those potholes along the way.
Marco D'Angelo from Wager Talk joins us here on Take the Points. And, we're not talking week 1 games with you. We're not talking games today, but I'd love to hear your thoughts just overall about college football. Who are some teams that maybe you're leaning towards that not a lot of people are getting some buzz, or, who do you kind of like, I guess, futures-wise for this college football season?
Yeah, guys, I'll be honest with you. I'm not a big futures guy, in the college landscape, and simply because I really don't like the way college football is changing. Obviously, we've had all of the stuff this off season with all of the conference, realignments, teams bolting to other conferences, and I can't wait to watch Stanford go to Florida State and play a 9 a.m. Game on their body clock, in football, and it's only going to be harder for these teams. Football is bad enough, but it's only 1 game a week. When these West Coast teams are playing, 2 games in a week, and they're traveling, cross country to play a conference game, twice in 1 week, it's just going to be, hard to handicap at the beginning of what's going on. But the thing that's changed college football so much, and, I feel bad for the smaller schools because the rich are only going to get richer. The transfer portal is changing the way you have to handicap college football. Teams are, basically, rating the refrigerator, so to speak, from some of the smaller schools where, you get a quarterback that, maybe was overlooked by all of the blue chip schools, but, develops into a great quarterback. And then all of a sudden, that school, he transfers out and goes to a big time program, and you can't blame them. Everybody wants to get their money, and the best way to get paid is to be playing at a good program where you're going to get more money on, the NILs, and then, of course, more exposure for yourself and, to get into the NFL draft and get your real big payday. Mm-hmm. But you can't blame them there. But it changes how you got to go into these games because again, returning starters, how much does that mean anymore? Right. Because look at a game going on right now. Colorado, a lot of, buzz because Deion Sanders took over the program. All right. And he brought in the biggest recruiting class through the transfer portal ever seen. Now, granted, it's only been a couple of years, but this was, an intense group. Now, the general consensus is that when you put together so many new players, it takes time for that team to gel. Well, so far that hasn't been the case. Yep. If you're watching the Colorado TCU game, they're looking pretty good for, a team that's got all new players and had to introduce themselves to each other. So it is changing the landscape, and that's why I'm staying clear of the college futures, but it's always going to be, the same household name. Yeah. Alabama's going to be loaded. Clemson's going to be loaded. The Clemson quarterback that they've got this year should have been starting last year. They went too long, with DJ there. finally made the move. Georgia, can they three-peat? These teams are always going to get the teams, but the gap is closing with some of these other schools now thanks to the transfer portal.
We're visiting with Marco D'Angelo from WagerTalk.com. Follow Marco on Twitter at Marco in Vegas. And I picked up my phone this morning, looked at my direct messages, and Marco, you sent me a picture of a tank and said, "Is this what's happening in Arizona this year?" Newsflash: Cardinals are going to stink this year. But
wait, what?
What is the consensus? Like, how do you factor in? Everybody knows what's happening in Arizona, right? I mean, so when you look at a team like the Arizona Cardinals, how do you work with that throughout the course of a long NFL season?
Well, the first thing that we did right away is whenever we saw that, before they waived Colt McCoy.
Yep.
The word was that Kyler Murray wasn't going to be ready. All right. So we knew that. Immediately, a lot of money come in on under 4.5 wins on Arizona for the season win total. And, I took that bet myself. Then the very next day, the word comes out that they released Colt McCoy, which makes absolutely no sense. He's the only guy that you've had in camp that knows the system. Not that he's a great quarterback, but he started games. He started for you. Made absolutely no sense at all. And, I get it. You're going to blow it up and, rebuild the team. And, everybody feels that the USC quarterback, Caleb Williams is, one of those generational type quarterbacks, like an Andrew Luck, I get that. But man, that makes it, you're telling your fan base that, we're not trying this year. Mm-hmm. And that's a part that I don't like. We've had that problem in the NBA, where teams tank and they keep trying to redo how, they do the draft process to try to keep teams playing. They added playoff positions to try to keep people in the hunt longer. But in the NFL, it's a shorter season, and, there's going to be one or two teams that really do suck. And then there's going to be a team that's trying to suck. And it's a race to the fewest wins. Mm-hmm. And it's just not fair. It's not fair to the fan base. Now, from a betting standpoint, the season win totals are what they are. Okay, so you jump on that. I took advantage of the number, before the market started to move. But when it comes to a week-to-week situation with the games, the lines are going to be inflated on Arizona. There will be spots where you could bet Arizona because of the point spread. A team's going to be laying too many points to them. That team may be coming off a big game the week before or have a big game the following week, and they're going to look totally past Arizona. And Arizona will sneak in, under the number. Not win the game because they don't want to win the game, but, it's hard to tell professional athletes to go out and try to lose. Okay. They have pride. They're not concerned about, getting the first round draft pick because they don't even know that they're going to be here next year. There's no guarantee that they're going to be on that roster, taking one for the team. So that's why it's a bad situation. And you got players that are going to be free agents, and are, going to bolt out of Arizona. They don't want to look bad on film because they want to sign with somebody else. So it's something I don't like, but until the NFL and, all of the sports can figure a way to stop it, there's nothing you can do.
Marco D'Angelo joining us as he's going to all season long, every week during the football season. It's our pleasure to have Marco on the air. He will be making picks. By the way, if you go to wagertalk.com right now and you click on the free picks, Marco's got a college football pick for you right there online, wagertalk.com. He's got and it's a Pac-12 free pick. That said, Marco, I want to ask you, since I just referenced the Pac-12, which is about to be the two-pack, if you will, how does all of this realignment and the fact that 2023 is the swan song for college football as we know it, how does it impact the grand scheme of wagering on sports in college football, if at all?
Well, what it's going to do, and, every year, guys, when we get to Thanksgiving weekend, I always joke that, I throw my stat books away. All the stats I took for the entire season, I don't look at them that final weekend in Thanksgiving because that's rivalry weekend. And stats don't mean anything because you had the Arizona and the Arizona States playing one another. You had all of the Georgia Techs, Virginia Techs, all those great rivalries. And you would have a team, generally speaking, one team was maybe going to a bowl game or one team needed to win that final game to become bowl eligible and the other team had nothing to play for other than pride. Well, they showed up for pride. And a lot of times you would get those live dogs that would take the other team to the limit or pull the upset. Those are going to be gone. We're killing college rivalries with what we're doing.
Oh.
That's the part of football that really saddens me because that's why we watch these games. That's why we're invested. Yeah, we've got money down. Yeah, we want to see who the national champion's going to be or win the conference. But it doesn't matter what your team's record is for the season. When it came to that rivalry weekend, that one game of the season, that could make you feel good for about your team for 1 week, no matter what your record was for the season. And that's going to be gone. And that saddens me a lot.
He's Marco D'Angelo. Follow him on Twitter at Marco in Vegas. The website, wagertalk.com. Marco, great to hear your voice. Great to have you back with us. We'll start picking games for real next Saturday when you join us.
I'm looking forward to it, guys, and hopefully we will be cashing a lot of tickets.
There we go. Marco D'Angelo again. Follow him on Twitter.
I've been waiting so long to hear that, Marco. Let's go.
At Marco in Vegas, wagertalk.com. We'll step aside here. More to come on the other side.
Cash some tickets, folks.
Fox Sports 910.
Take the points. Powered by the Sportsbook at CAZ Sports Bar in Casino, Arizona continues next on Fox Sports 910 and the free iHeartRadio app.
We're your neighbors. You should stop by for a visit. We're Casino, Arizona. Come on in. Our slots are spinning, our dealers are dealing, and everyone's yelling bingo. Isn't it about time you see your friends again? So stop by to say hello. Stay a while. Relax. Enjoy yourself. We'd love to see you again. Hey, this place was made to entertain. We're your Casino, Arizona.
Got the urge to pick games each week? Thursday, Sunday, even Mondays? Then sign up now for the Twin Peaks Fan Pick'em, courtesy of Blue Moon and Coors Light. It's totally free to play. Head to fanpick'em.com. That's fanpick'em.com.
At Lerner & Rowe, we don't have empty slogans or make empty promises. What we do have is a history of proven results. In a wreck, need a check? We've collected billions of dollars for our clients, with over $1 billion recovered in the past 5 years alone. Make one call, that's all. And we have a team of legal professionals standing by, waiting to begin working on your case the moment you call. Call Lerner & Rowe today. Find out why we've been voted best law firm in Arizona for the past 8 years in a row.
Lerner & Rowe is the way to go. Call 977-1900.
Arizona's largest locally owned A-plus BBB rated towing company is All City Towing. They're always looking to add motivated and competitive team members. Do you fit the bill? If so, head on over to allcitytowing.com/careers for more information.
Arizona's headquarters for Toyotas is Wright Toyota. Hey, rock for my friends at Wright Toyota in Scottsdale. You will always find the right deal at Wright Toyota. Wright Toyota has been driving Arizona's home for years with their amazing service, pricing, and great selections. I encourage you to discover the difference at Wright Toyota. Make the right choice, Wright Toyota, just off the 101 on Frank Lloyd Wright Boulevard, and always online at WrightToyota.com. The right price, the right selection. Check out WrightToyota.com.
Football is here, and Rock and Manuch are hosting the Watch Win Wager Kickoff Party in the CAZ Sports Bar at Casino, Arizona, Thursday, September 7th. Cash prizes, just a chance to take home a 75-inch smart TV. It's the Watch Win Wager Kickoff Party, Thursday, September 7th at Casino, Arizona.
Hey, this is Kelly Cooper. Are you ready for the ultimate sports experience? Look no further than BKD's Backyard Joint. At BKD's, we're not just a sports bar. We're the destination for the best food, drinks, and sports experience in the Valley. Located at the corner of Pecos and McQueen and Chandler, get ready to score big on fun and flavor. Only at BKD's Backyard Joint, where every day is game day. Check us out on backyard.com.
If you have the first overall pick, make sure you select Twin Peaks for your fantasy football draft party. Stay cool under pressure with 29 draft beers, bites for the whole team, plus a $50 bonus card for the commish and an additional $5 bonus card for every drafter. Visit TwinPeaksRestaurant.com/fantasy draft for more info.
College football fans, are you ready for week one? DraftKings Sportsbook is hooking you up with a can't-miss offer to start the season strong. This week, new customers can bet just $5 on college football and score $200 in bonus bets instantly. Anything can happen in college football. Your team could go from unranked to dynasty mode in just a couple of years. Change comes fast. The only thing that's a lock is the great offers from DraftKings Sportsbook. Life's more fun when you're in on the action. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now. Use code 910. New customers can score $200 in bonus bets instantly when they bet just $5 on college football. Only on DraftKings Sportsbook. 9. The crown is yours. 21 and over, Arizona only. Gambling problem, 1-800-NEXT-STEP. Bonus bets expire 7 days after issuance. Eligibility and deposit restrictions apply. Terms at sportsbook.draftkings.com/football terms.
Back to Take the Points, powered by the Sportsbook at CAZ Sports Bar in Casino, Arizona. Exclusive on Fox Sports 910.
Thanks again to Marco D'Angelo. Appreciate him. You'll hear him every Saturday at 11:30 right here on Take the Points. All right, we've got some business to take care of before we do that. Scoreboard update, Jackson. Some of the scores we're watching today out of the top 25.
Yeah, guys, the biggest game so far has got to be 17 TCU against Colorado. TCU right now up 28-24, 2 minutes and 32 seconds left in the third quarter. However, Colorado is in the red zone on TCU's 7-yard line. And for those who bet on the game, the 20.5 spread was the spread in favor of TCU, and TCU is not covering right now.
No, not at all. And look, you know, I think what you're starting to see is we've got the game on here at the CAZ
Colorado
Sportsbook.
just scored a touchdown.
Is that you know what your concerns about Colorado are? This touchdown notwithstanding, is the game in the trenches, right? You know, because this is where I think they will be exposed throughout the course of a long season. And that might be overstating it, right? Because the fact that it's exciting and relevant is good enough for Colorado fans right now. A couple other games, I should say, in the Pac-12 today to keep an eye on. Jackson, you mentioned this one a minute ago, Washington and Boise State. That one on ABC from Seattle. That'll be an interesting one to keep an eye on, I think, as there's a lot of expectations on the Huskies who come into the season as a top 10 team.
Yeah, and don't sleep on Boise State. I mean, most people have them as the group of 5 representative. It's either them or Tulane, wherever you see them at. So Boise State, we'll see how they can show out on the road at Washington.
The other game that I'm interested in for all the wrong reasons is Washington State and Colorado State from Fort Collins later on this afternoon. And the reason this one is interesting to me is, you know, it's like a game of musical chairs, and it feels like the music has stopped, and Washington State and Oregon State are the two teams without a chair. And this very well could be a preview from an upcoming, whether you rebrand the Mountain West as the Pac-12 and keep all their money, or you just move it and, you know, have a fire sale and move Washington State and Oregon State to the Mountain West Conference. This could be a future matchup in a conference setting, Bauer, but it's unfortunate because you're here long enough, you understand, you appreciate the Pac-10 first and now the Pac-12, and to know that even though they're not in, you know, big cities, they're part of this Pac-12 family, and to see them discarded for what Marco was talking about, really money, right? Let's call it what it is. It's not conference realignment. It's not going for it's money. And Washington State and Oregon State didn't move the needle enough monetarily, so they're left on the outside looking in right now.
Yeah, Washington State at Colorado State. That's a +9 for Colorado State at home there. So Washington State laying some points. Over under on that one, 54, 4 o'clock kickoff on that one. As for the other team left, left at the altar, if you will, the number 18 Oregon State Beavers, they're on the road at the currently 0-1 San Jose State Spartans. I was going to call them Catamounts. No, the Spartans there. That game tomorrow, right? Because this first week, you don't have NFL football. Yeah. It was great. We got to get some football last night. We get some football tomorrow, college football. But Oregon State at San Jose State tomorrow. And Oregon State Minus 16 in that one, over under 54 as well. So same number there in terms of the over under. That game, I always love that, guys, when, granted, look, we're all excited for the NFL.
Yeah.
Games start on Thursday. We're going to have a packed house here at the Casino Arizona Sportsbook for that Thursday night kickoff in the NFL. But hey, we get like a bonus day, a bonus couple days of college football this weekend, including some Pac-12 action tomorrow with Oregon State, San Jose State. For what it's worth, I know it's more than 2 touchdowns, but still.
And it's similar to Colorado State, Washington State. It's a Pac-12 Mountain West matchup. In Silicon Valley tomorrow, and it's on CBS, which is one of the networks that has a contract with the Mountain West Conference. Those teams receive in the neighborhood of $7 to $8 million per year from their TV deals.
I mean, they're already doing better than the Pac-12, who doesn't have a.
Well, they got I don't know if you're in charge of finances at Washington State or Oregon State, you got to fill a $30 million hole. That's the difference between the Mountain West and the Pac-12. Jackson, what's going on in Ann Arbor? I know that's a game that you were watching. Not necessarily that Michigan was going to be in any trouble against East Carolina, but the over-under total was interesting to use. That game started.
Yeah, I bet on the over. It was at 51. Right now they're up 30-0, which is fine, but I don't think they're going to get the over. They were on the 1-yard line and got stopped, fumbled against East Carolina. So, I mean, East Carolina's got the ball with 10 minutes left, and with how much they run the football, I don't expect them to get the over, which kind of sucks. But, hey, it's all good.
And real quickly, we only have a moment or two left here in our openings hour. But, guys, ASU 24-21 win over Southern Utah Thursday night at the stadium. Just a really weird game. Devils looked good in the first half, looked disinterested in the second half. But they got the win, and now they got to take a look what went well, Bauer, and then figure out what you got to do to get it right for Oklahoma State, who comes in here next Saturday night.
Yeah, and we even have spots airing on our show saying this is a preview of a future conference rivalry. That's exactly what it is. Hey, the ASU team that barely won in a very, as you mentioned, weird situation, multiple weather delays. Mm-hmm. But still, you're supposed to win that game by 20, 30 points. A team that barely won, it doesn't look good for Oklahoma State and the Cowboys coming to town next week.
And don't sleep on Fresno State, the opponent after that. They're in West Lafayette right now. They're beating Purdue on the road. That's a tough Fresno team that'll be here in a couple weeks. We'll step aside here. Hour number 1 in the books. We'll be back for hour number 2 on Fox Sports 910.
Tune in Mondays for 4 as Rockin' Minuch with Jimmy B broadcasts live from the CAZ Sportsbook in Casino, Arizona. The Sportsbook at the CAZ Sports Bar in Casino, Arizona is sports fans' paradise. That's the guys live every Monday from CAZ Sportsbook in Casino, Arizona.
If you have the first overall pick, make sure you select Twin Peaks for your fantasy football draft party. Stay cool under pressure with 29 draft beers, bites for the whole team, plus a $50 bonus card for the commish and an additional $5 bonus card for every drafter. Visit TwinPeaksRestaurant.com/fantasy draft for more info.
We're your neighbors. You should stop by for a visit. We're Casino Arizona. Come on in. Our slots are spinning, our dealers are dealing, and everyone's yelling bingo. Isn't it about time you see your friends again? So stop by to say hello. Stay a while. Relax. Enjoy yourself. We'd love to see you again. Hey, this place was made to entertain. We're your Casino, Arizona.
I'm Byron Brown, the anti-lawyer lawyer. When it comes to your personal injury case, I'm straight to the point. I'll answer your call, no BS.
Byron Brown, the anti-lawyer lawyer. Call 1-800-ANTI-LAWYER.
Do you have heart failure and often hear,
"Those stomach issues ruined your birthday"?
"You're too tired to play catch, Grandpa"?
Sweetie, you haven't touched your tools since the carpal tunnel syndrome diagnosis.
If these seemingly unrelated symptoms sound familiar, talk to your cardiologist. Ask about transthyretin amyloid cardiomyopathy, or ATTR-CM, a rare and underdiagnosed disease that gets worse over time. Learn more at connecttoyourheart.com. That's connecttoyourheart.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Whether you own a local business or a global one, you know that these days, generating growth is a challenge. By teaming with Bank of America, you'll not just stay ahead of the curve, you'll move it. With access to experts, award-winning insights, and business solutions so powerful, you'll make every move matter, locally and globally. Visit bankofamerica.com/banking for business to learn more. What would you like the power to do? Copyright 2023 Bank of America, N.A.
So the following program were pre-recorded.
The Herd with Colin Cowherd, Monday from 10 to 1. This is KGME Phoenix, KESC HD2 Phoenix, an iHeart radio station. At 8 Eastern on Fox and the Fox Sports app. This is The Odd Couple with Chris Broussard and Rob Parker.
I know it's been nearly 30
years. We are and here's what you need to know.
An impressive performance so far for Colorado quarterback Shedeur Sanders as he and the Buffaloes are taking on number 17 TCU.
Second down to 10 for the 25. There's a swing pass out of the back middle of the screen, caught by Dylan Edwards. He's got men in front of him, running at the 30 to the near sideline, to 35-40, up the sideline. Here he goes! 35, on his way to the end zone. 15, 10, 5, touchdown!
That would be the tones of what Mark Johnson, Learfield, Colorado Radio Network. As far as Sanders, 31 of 39 through the air, 351 yards, 2 touchdowns, and the Buffs have the lead again, 31-28, as they just started the fourth quarter against number 17 TCU in Fort Worth. Virginia has a couple of points on the board, but number 12 Tennessee racing past them 42-10 fourth quarter. Number 2 Michigan 30-0. They lead East Carolina 6:55. I'm
your 18 leads. We push through the afternoon hours. The top end about 96 degrees. Overnight fair at 82. And your Sunday nice finish to the weekend. Sunny skies on 99. With the Fox 10 weather experts, I'm Corey McCloskey.
This report is sponsored by Indeed.com. Summer days getting shorter and business to-do lists getting longer? You need Indeed. Their all-in-one hiring solution makes it easy to attract, interview, and hire candidates all in one place. Sponsor your first job and get hiring today by visiting Indeed.com/credit.
Time for Arizona's only local sports gambling radio show. Take the points. Or on the Sportsbook at CAZ Sports Bar in Casino, Arizona. Your home for uncensored sports betting opinions, analysis, and advice. The guys have you covered for all the games. Now take the points on Fox Sports 910 radio app.
Welcome back. The points, Fox Sports 910, and Mike Gross forgot to put his headset on.
Wait a minute. Well, you guys give me a hard time every week because, I don't bring a laptop. I just write notes down on a piece of paper. You're like, okay, old guy. Now I got a laptop, and I'm like, wow, look at all this information that's out there. Yeah, you can get scores real time, Jackson. I'm getting real time updates.
Wait, is that on the internet?
I don't have to ask Jackson, what's the score in Ann Arbor? I can see it right here.
I think Mike Gross, I think you said the intro without your headset on, too, which was actually quite hilarious.
That is hilarious. Anyway, we are back at the Sportsbook at Casino, Arizona. It's packed in here. It's amazing. Fantasy drafts going on. Lots of folks watching college football on the big screens. Jack and the team, they're at the window. They're busy. There's Casey. Casey on the scene. And great food and drink. If you're about Loop 101 in McKellips, come out and see us. We're taking it to 1 o'clock today. Guys, let's take a quick look at some more games on the scoreboard. It's week 1 officially. Last week, week 0 is in the books. And you get kind of a mixed bag, right? You've got Georgia and UT Martin, or Michigan and East Carolina, 2 teams in Michigan and Georgia that you figure will be in the conversation for the college football playoffs later on. And then we broke down a couple of games like future conference matchups between Mountain West and Pac-12 teams. But I think, Bauer, you touched on this. It's a great weekend because the NFL's not around. And you've got games today, you've got games tomorrow, and you've got a game Monday. A game tomorrow that's getting a lot of attention, and for the right reasons, LSU and Florida State, a game that's played in Orlando, Camping World Stadium. They dodged a bullet with the hurricane there, and they are able to go tomorrow in Florida, 4:30 kickoff on that one. But I think that's, these are the types of games that fans love to see, right? And I agree with a lot of what Marco said with conference realignment and rivalries getting tossed by the wayside. The fact that teams like Florida State out of the ACC, and they're making noise about wanting to join the SEC, whether they want them or not. LSU, they're in a lot of people's conversation for that college football playoff if they can figure out a way around Georgia and Alabama, number 5 ranked LSU. But good game tomorrow, and fun to see these types of matchups early in the season.
Yeah, and these teams are so similar, right? They return the stud quarterbacks with Jaden Daniels on LSU, Florida State returns Jordan Travis, and they've each got that dynamic defensive player with, Florida State and Jared Verse, and then LSU with Harold Perkins. So you've got two great coaches coaching these teams, fundamentally sound, both dark horses in the college football playoff.
Yep.
I think it's going to come down who makes less mistakes will come out to win this game. We saw last year, LSU, the blocked field goal, or the blocked extra point, I should say, was the biggest mistake that cost them that game last year.
According to the sheet I got from Jack at the Sportsbook here at Casino, Arizona, LSU is a 2-point favorite. 56.5 is the over-under on that one. And Bauer, you look at this game, and as I said, I love seeing it scheduled. And if it's a good game, if it's a close game, and one team just happens to Jackson's point, blocks a field goal or an extra point at the end, and you take a loss week one against a team the caliber of either LSU or Florida State, that's not a season killer. You can come back from that, particularly in the two conferences that these teams represent. So, I think more teams should be incented to play these types of games, get your product on national TV, and get your kids in the spotlight.
Yeah, and all you got to do is take a look to last year, and you look at LSU, who ended up finishing the season 10-4, but still a very good season. And granted, yes, it's a tick in the loss column, but it's not a bad loss to start off the year. Last year, you mentioned a 1-point game at the Superdome in New Orleans, 24-23. Obviously, the venue shifts to Orlando, but hey, you mentioned Jackson. The quarterback, Jaden Daniels, obviously here, people very, very familiar with him given his time at ASU. But something he didn't necessarily have at ASU that he does with LSU is they've got all 5 been returning. He's got some studs in front of him. That's going to be, look, the LSU offensive line with the tackles they've got to give him a little bit of protection because, hey, Florida State's coming for you. They got some very, very good players on that defensive line last year. 10th nationally in tackles for last season. The ACC Rookie of the Year last year as well. And Patrick Payton coming after the quarterback. This is a game you mentioned, a 2-point game on ABC in prime time tomorrow. What more could you ask for to start off the college football season? And I know they're not in the same conference, and that mathematically allows this stat to be a thing. But for the first ever top 10 matchup in series history between these two teams.
Wow.
I think that's awesome. Hey, also, we got to keep an eye, and we'll pay proper respect as the Pac-12 winds things down, at least the Pac-12 that we know right now. But a big win for the Pac-12 Thursday night, Jackson, in Salt Lake City. Florida out of the SEC travels to Salt Lake City. And Utah beat Florida 24-11. The line in that one was Utah 5.5, and the over/under, which I would have been on if I was paying attention, 44.5. And I just felt, and we talked about this last week, that's a tough trip for a Florida Gators team to make. You go out of the southeastern part of the United States, where if you could look back, they don't travel. And they definitely don't travel to the Mountain Time Zone, and they definitely don't travel from Gainesville, Florida, to the altitude that you play in Salt Lake City. So that 44.5 would have been attractive to me had I paid attention, and obviously it went under at 35. Not surprising to me, but Utah, man, every year just solid.
You got to give props to Kyle Whittingham. Back-to-back year Pac-12, but on top of that, they had 8 starters missing, including their stud quarterback Cam Rising, and Barnes didn't lose a step, lose a beat. He came in. They had a freshman quarterback that was a dual threat. He looked good too. But guys, Utah was great, but I think Florida's coaching staff lost in this game. You had a ton of missed penalties. You had a 4th and 1, and you have a delay of game because you have 2 players with the same number in at the same time. That's unexcusable. You practice those things all season, all off season. So I think Florida, I think they kicked themselves in the foot, and you got to give credit for Graham Mertz. I thought he played well for Florida. It just sucks they lost that game.
That number one blew my mind, and that's not on the kids. That is on the coaches. There is somebody on that staff that's their job.
Because that's what you check with. You have a GA that checks, okay,
absolutely.
If we're in every single punt, we're in punt return, kickoff return, or kickoff. You got to make sure that you don't have the same number on the same field at the same time.
That's why I've been advocating for triple-digit numbers for years.
Spoken like somebody who's been there, Jackson.
Yeah.
Bauer, the other thing, like I said, we'll keep an eye on this Pac-12 conference as we wind things down. And the sample size is small, but what I like is, every chance they've got to answer the bell, whether it's in a marquee game like Utah and Florida, or you got Stanford traveling over to Hawaii and did some nice things to raise some funds for the victims of the wildfire in Hawaii, but at the same time, got a road win for the Stanford Cardinal, a team that isn't expected to do great things this year. So even at the bottom end of your conference, when you get wins, that's a good thing, right? So USC kicks it off with an interesting win a week ago over San Jose State. Offense is there, defense is suspect. Stop me if you heard that one before. And then Utah, Stanford, ASU, all with wins early on. So we'll keep an eye on that and see how the Pac-12 does in these non-conference opportunities.
You know, one of the things that us in Pac-12 country, we have noticed, we've also watched them play in the Rose Bowl and what have you, but Utah is always a sneaky good pick, a good value pick, especially at the beginning of the season, to win the conference. A win over Florida, granted, I know it was in Salt Lake City, but a win over Florida with backups at a handful of key positions. Everybody has already anointed USC as the Pac-12 champions this year. It's already a foregone conclusion. Everybody's going to the window. They probably got their tickets. But I'll tell you right now, Utah made a statement last night that says, hey, look, this is not USC's division. Oregon, Washington will put you guys on notice once again. I feel like Utah has to do this every year, is remind the rest of the world, and even those of us in Pac-12 country, hey, we have a football team here in Salt Lake City, and we just beat an SEC team last night that came in, and we did it with some maybe not scrubs, but backups. That was a statement win for them to the rest of the Pac-12 that goes, hey, look, this isn't USC. Don't have the trophy just yet.
Hey, Jackson, real quickly before we head to break, how about you give us a quick scoreboard update? Some of the games we're watching, I know you're locked in Fort Worth, Texas right now.
Yeah, I mean, TCU just took the lead. They're up 35-31. And for those who bet on the over-under, the over has completed. It's 60-66. I think the over-under total was around 63, which, I mean, for me personally, I was favoring the under. I put my under bet, you could say, in the Action Network app, and I thought it was going to be an under because I thought Colorado with all the missing pieces.
Right.
TCU with the new OC, clearly wrong. A high-scoring game. This game's going to come down to the wire. You got to give props to Colorado, man. What a statement early in first week.
I shoot from Jack here at the Sportsbook at Casino Arizona, 63.5 was the number. You're going to look at that one. A game that I was watching for local implications. Purdue leads Fresno State 35-32. Still a time left in the fourth quarter. Purdue kicking off to Fresno State. Fresno State here in a couple of weeks to play ASU at the stadium. So we'll watch that team. You talk about sneaky teams that maybe you overlook after a big game against Oklahoma Sate next week. Keep that Fresno State team when they come to Tempe. What's happening in Bozeman right now? Because we have to give that update.
Bozeman? Okay, we're just going to move on.
How are the Grizz doing? I'm sorry, I apologize.
They're up right now. They're winning. But guys, I want to talk about the big game of the night. We don't need to mention Montana. No one cares about No, I know, but no one cares about Montana right now. Everyone cares about what we want to. They want to hear us talk about 21 North Carolina against South Carolina at 4:30 p.m. North Carolina is favored by 2.5, and I want to get you guys' thoughts. The over/under total is at 63. Do you guys think over with North Carolina not really good on defense, South Carolina better on defense? What do you guys kind of favor when you look at this game?
I'm looking at pictures of Bozeman. It's beautiful.
I love the quarterback matchup in this game, right? Obviously, you've got the local kid, Spencer Rattler, who has kind of found his way once he left Oklahoma, left that program. And, not a great program, but I think a better program than they were before he got there, and that's all you can ask for. And then obviously for the Tar Heels, and Jackson, you mentioned it, a guy that at quarterback that's going to get an opportunity when you talk about Drake May, because it's not a great defense, just as you said. So Drake May is going to keep his crack. So if the reason you watch this game because of the two quarterbacks and what they can do, and both these guys, Drake May will be a high draft pick. I think Spencer Rattler gets a chance when his time comes. So for no other reason, but I'll watch this game because of the matchups there at that position.
Yeah, a good portion of the money is coming in on South Carolina in terms of the public betting. Very close, about 53 to 47% in favor of South Carolina in terms of the bets, but the money coming in 70-30 in favor of South Carolina in this game. And again, you're seeing right about 2.5. It did open at 1.5, moved to about 2.5. Drake May maybe getting some love there.
Yeah.
The spread moving a point in their favor.
Again, from the Sportsbook here, Casino Arizona, minus 2.5 for North Carolina. Jackson, the over-under in that game, they agree with the way you broke it down. 63.5. So they're expecting a lot of points tonight.
Guys, I know we talked Heisman last week. This guy, Travis Hunter, is just unbelievable.
We'll get into that a little bit later on. But we step aside here, take care of some business, and then we roll out a new segment. That's coming up next on Fox Sports 9.
Clear the points. Powered by the Sportsbook at CAZ Sports Bar in Casino, Arizona continues next on Fox Sports 910 and the free iHeartRadio app.
Hey, it's Jody Ayler. I'm off for a few days for the Labor Day weekend holiday. We will be back Tuesday morning. It is game week in the NFL, kind of for the Cardinals. Plus, we'll react to all the SU and UFA week one news. 6:05 Tuesday morning on the Drive, Fox Sports 910 and your free iHeartRadio.
Join Rockin' Manooch with Jimmy B Thursdays at one of the 5 Valley Twin Peaks locations. The guys broadcast live from 1 to 5 Valley locations. And tune in at 2:45 for Peaks Picks, your chance to win a Twin Peaks man card. It's Guys Live every Thursday at Twin Peaks.
We're your neighbors. You should stop by for a visit. We're Casino, Arizona. Come on in. Our slots are spinning. Our deals are dealing. Everyone's yelling bingo. It's about time you see your friends again. So stop by to say hello. Stay a while. Relax. Enjoy yourself. We'd love to see you again. Hey, this place was made to entertain. We're your Casino, Arizona.
Tune in Mondays from 1 to 4 as Rockin' Manooch with Jimmy B broadcasts live from the CAZ Sportsbook in Casino, Arizona. The Sportsbook at the CAZ Sports Bar in Casino, Arizona is sports fans' paradise. It's live every Monday from CAZ Sportsbook in Casino, Arizona.
Unique oxidation process. It's why they won platinum and gold medals and are now listed as one of the world's top tequilas by Rolling Stone. Head over to your local store, favorite bar, or restaurant in all 7 Barrio Queen locations. Go to elbanditoyankee.com and check out the Bandito, the official tequila of game day.
Looking for a change in career? City Towing is searching for motivated teammates to join their team. Current openings now available in customer service, tow truck operators, yard management, facilities maintenance, and dispatch. Apply online at allcitytowing.com/careers or call 408-372-78.
You hear it now, the lawyer ads, and I'll repeat it in this one. All personal injury attorneys.
No, I don't have any fucking money, dude. I can't bet on anything.
The same things, but that's where the similarities between Lerner and Rowe. And
I did put my $10 BetMGM free bet on the Thursday opener, NFL opener, though.
And we've collected billions of dollars for our clients.
With the under
$1 billion in the last 5 years alone.
Under 53.5, I think.
Correct. Call Lerner and Rowe today.
Lerner and Rowe is the way to go. Call 977-1900.
Hey, this is Kelly Cooper. Are you ready for the ultimate sports experience? Let's go further than BKD's Backyard Joint. BKD's were the destination for the best food, drinks, and sports experience in the Valley. Located at the corner of Pecos and McQueen and Chandler, BKD's Backyard Joint, where every day is game day.
Need a new big screen for the football season? Twin Peaks, Blue Moon, and Coors Light has your chance right now. Text PEAKS to 59925. Standard message and data rates apply. That's PEAKS to 59925.
Give back to Arizona and be part of something bigger than yourself. When you sign up for AmeriCorps, you open a door to make a difference. Serve as a teacher, protect nature, support veterans, or help where your passion lies. Part-time or full-time, student or senior, AmeriCorps is for everyone. Sign up at serve.az.gov. That's serve.az.gov. This message is sponsored by the Arizona Governor's Office of Youth, Faith, and Family.
Why is iHeartRadio the #1 streaming radio app? Music.
Free live radio stations from all over the country.
Free podcasts. Free playlists. Free contests.
Free artist radio stations.
Commercial-free stations. It's free. I love iHeartRadio. Join the millions of music, radio, and podcast fans on the #1 streaming radio app now.
iHeartRadio.
iHeartRadio. Free never sounded so good.
To take the points. Powered by the Sportsbook at CAZ Sports Bar in Casino, Arizona. Exclusively on Sports 910.
Welcome back. Rolling along on a Saturday. I'll do it from Jackson from Fort Worth, Colorado. Score again. the Buffs up on the Horned Frogs. We'll keep an eye on that one as they're in the home stretch in that season opener for both teams. But as we try to grow our game a little bit and get a little bit more technically sound, and really excited to welcome into the program from the Action Network, it's William Boer. William, welcome in, Bauer, Gross, and Groff. Thanks for making time for us today.
Of course. Thanks for having me. I'm good on TCU minus 20. But otherwise, first full Saturday, what's not to love, what's not to be excited about?
I love it. Absolutely. That's exactly what we've been talking about all day long. I think that we have the same sentiment on this TCU Colorado game. But, hey, real quickly, as we said, we had a nice call the night, setting stuff up and laying out some plans for the upcoming football season. But for our listeners who maybe aren't familiar with what you guys do, what your site is, and how many they can take advantage of it, why don't you give them kind of that sales pitch about the Action Network?
Yeah, so the website, actionnetwork.com, but our main product, I guess, is our award-winning app, the Action Network app. And we have everything you need to be a better. We have a bunch of articles telling you which way. We have projections on what we think spreads and totals should be. We have all the info there. And I think the thing that's really cool that we want to use with you guys is tracking. You can only track all your bets in real time in one place, but you can share your bets with your friends. You can check how your friends' bets are doing and kind of have a little social network of betting, which is it's fun because you like to see how your friends are doing, and it's fun at the end of the day to say you were better than your friend. I think most importantly, it's also good from an accountability standpoint and seeing all your bets in one place. If you're betting on multiple books, sometimes it's easy to kind of get lost on where your money's going and what's up, what's down. So it's nice at the end of the day or at the end of the week to really be able to open up the app, look at where all your bets stand, and kind of just give yourself a reality check, good or bad.
All right, so Will, I'm sitting here and just like anybody these days, I got my phone in my hand and I start getting these alerts and I go, he's in a two-way parlay. So I'm getting alerts from a social perspective that I see you've got the over in the Portland State Vikings, Oregon, your Oregon Ducks. You've got the over on that. I see that you got Boston as well, the Red Sox in baseball. I see that you've also got here locally the Northern Arizona Lumberjacks at the Wildcats down south. You got the over 52 as well. So I'm sitting here, I just got my phone in my hand like everybody else, and all of a sudden I get all these alerts that show me you got some of the stuff that you like.
Yeah, I fired off this morning. I'm going to have a busy day. But I think what's cool about that is, like you said, you're allowed to follow people in the app. So if you follow some of our experts, you're going to get their bets as soon as they place it, which is great because we have some people that are site who are line movers. So it's going to be really good to follow them and get on that action as soon as they can. Because as we all know in football, half points can matter, especially as we get into the NFL. So the immediacy of it is really cool, especially for line movers, but also for like live betting. I mean, if I fire something off at halftime, there's obviously not a ton of time to get that in.
Well, just good news for you, but TCU just scored 42-38. They just kicked the extra point. So what'd you have? You had minus 20. You're looking good. You got 4 points. You got another 16 to go.
Nice. There we go.
Yeah, there's still time.
16 points. Onside kick.
Exactly. Well, Will Boer joins us from the Action Network. So let's talk about the college football slate. I know when he mentioned Portland State and Oregon. I mean, for our listeners, kind of why did you look at that over, and why are you favoring the over in that matchup?
So Portland State, Oregon, I actually have the under in. I was over in NAU, Arizona. I had the under on that. But frankly, because it was 64.5, that was just a bet on that number being really high. My hope is that Oregon jumps out to a big lead and then kind of runs the ball with the new clock rules and just kind of milks the second half away. Their new offensive coordinator, who replaced obviously Kenny Dillingham at ASU, he wants to not use as much tempo this year. So I'm hoping that they kind of drain the clock in the second half and win by like 42 or something like that. Of course, they scored in like 2 minutes on their first possession and went for 2. So that wasn't ideal, but we'll see what happens.
All right, Will. So I just for our listeners, I want to clarify. So Action Network, actionnetwork.com, it's a great app you can have on your phone as well. I don't actually place bets there, right? This is so that I, if I'm surfing between, maybe some of the online books, or even if I'm here at Casino Arizona at the Sportsbook, I walk up and I put down $20, $50, $100, $1 on a game. I can then use the Action Network and the tools you guys have to track my bets and even kind of like run a stat sheet on my own bets and how I'm doing, right?
Correct. Yeah, we are a tool, but we are not a sports book. So you can use us to keep track of your bets, your friends' bets. Your listeners can follow you guys and see how you're all doing. And your picks is there. But yes, you have to add it in separately after you place the bet. We don't actually have a sports book or take bets.
What are some of the more useful tools you find on your site? Now, you mentioned, you guys have a ton of different tools. You have some really good writers, some good experts that you guys have added over the years. Murphy, college football, long-time writer, breaking stories left and right. He's part of the family there for the Action Network as well. What are some of the tools that when listeners go there that would really help them when they walk up to the window here at Casino Arizona?
Yeah, I think one of our biggest things is line shopping. We've got all the odds from all the books. You can see it at once. You can track in our app line movement, so you can see which way a game's trending. So you want to decide, but you realize that the spread's moving. You either know, hey, I can wait because I might get another half point later, or I better bet it now because it's going down. The other thing that I think that's very valuable. I think the other thing that's very valuable is seeing where the sharps are versus where the public is. So we've got betting splits, and you can see what percentage of bets are on a game, and then what percentage of money is on a game. So you can kind of see who's on which side, and hopefully align yourself with the sharps or the people that are going to win that bet.
Just for a couple more minutes here on Fox Sports 910 in Phoenix as we get ready, Will, for the NFL season coming up this coming Thursday. I almost said a week from Thursday, but no, it's this Thursday. And so people getting their last-minute future bets in. When you look at that, one of the ones that we've been talking a lot about, maybe for all the wrong reasons, here in town, is the Arizona Cardinals win total. It started somewhere around 4.5, I believe, and now we see it. And I think it's what you talked about earlier. It's not any one thing, but it's a lot of movement on that under. And so now I see it's down to 3.5. Any thoughts on that in general, and how do you attack personally those future bets for the National Football League?
I think one of the things where movement, you would much rather want the 4.5 than the 3.5. That game is a deal, but I don't think it's any secret. The Cardinals are going to be good. The sweepstakes that Caleb Williams is on, I'd still feel probably decent at 3.5. As far as futures, I kind of like taking long shots because you're tying up the money for 6 months. I have a bet on Justin Herbert to have 300 or more passing yards in 8 games, plus 125. And then I know I haven't fired on it yet, but I know a couple of my colleagues are on the Houston Texans to win their division. They're obviously not a great team, but that's a weak division. I think it's at like plus 700 or something crazy. In the NFL, there's always a worst to first every year. So I think just firing away on the long shots with the futures is kind of something I like. And then you always hedge some way during the regular season because you've got 18 weeks to tweak and figure out what happens.
Stuff, Will, as always, I'm excited about this, and personally speaking, I'm going to learn a lot. Really enjoyed the conversation last week with you, and really appreciative of your time today. Let's do it again at some point throughout the course of the season, okay?
Anytime, guys. Thanks for having me.
Follow Will on Twitter at WBOOR. So cool. WBOOR. It sounds like a law firm. At WBOOR on Twitter. And, of course, Action Network HQ on Twitter as well. We'll step aside here, come back, and we start making our picks, guys. It's for real. That's coming up next. Fox Sports 9.
Take the points. Powered by the Sportsbook at CAZ Sports Bar in Casino, Arizona continues next on Fox Sports 910 and the free iHeartRadio app.
Got the urge to pick games each week? Sunday, even Mondays. Now for Twin Peaks Fan Pick'em. It's totally free to play. Head to fanpick'em.com. Fanpick'em.com.
We're your neighbors. You should stop by for a visit. We're Casino, Arizona. Come on in. Our slots are spinning, our dealers are dealing, and everyone's yelling bingo. Isn't it about time you see your friends again? So stop by to say hello. Stay a while. Relax. Enjoy yourself. We'd love to see you again. Hey, this place was made to entertain. We're your Casino, Arizona.
Any car dealer in Arizona can compete on price. That's what dealers do, but not many dealers can compete with store satisfaction. Like make the right choice. Right Toyota in Scottsdale, just off the 101 on Franklin Boulevard. Online at righttoyota.com.
Sun Devil football hosts Big 12 opponent Oklahoma State in a highly anticipated preview of one of ASU's future rivalries on Saturday, September 9th at 7:30 p.m. for the annual Blackout game in American Stadium from the Buttes when the Cowboys come to town. Single game and mini plan options are available to watch the Sun Devils take on Oklahoma State. Get your tickets today by calling 480-727-0000 or go online to sundeviltickets.com. Be there, be loud, and wear black.
Jason Payne, owner of State 48 Roofing and your sexy status roof guy on Instagram and Facebook. Lesser roofers cut corners, coupling together Patrick roofs to meet a budget, not State 48 Roofing. Give us a call today for your maintenance, repair, or full replacement needs.
Arizona's largest locally owned A-plus BBB rated towing company is All City Towing. They're always looking for motivated, competitive team members. You fit the bill yourself. Head on over to allcitytowing.com/careers for more information.
Hi, this is Dom with Venezia's Pizzeria. We started in 1998 with our original store in Tempe. Fast forward to 2023 with 6 stores across the valley. We've had a lot of fun along the way, including our pizza eating challenge and our appearance on the show Breaking Bad. Thank you to our employees and customers for 25 fantastic years. We have never changed our core ingredients or recipes, and every pizza is made by hand. I'm a proud 1998 ASU alum and the official pizza partner of ASU Athletics. Learn more about our story at venezias.com.
Football is here, and Rock and Manooch are hosting the Watch Win Wager Kickoff Party in the CAZ Sports Bar at Casino, Arizona, Thursday, September 7th. Cash prizes, all team, plus a chance to take home a 75-inch smart TV. Watch Win Wager Kickoff Party.
So I have Casey's. I'm going to look for the locks
for a new big screen TV. Twin Peaks, Blue Moon, and Coors Light are giving away 5 65-inch smart TVs. Text Peaks to 59925. Standard message and data rates apply. That's Peaks to 59925.
College football fans, DraftKings Sportsbook is hooking you up with a can't-miss offer to start the season. New customers can bet just $5 on college football and score $200 in bonus bets instantly. Anything can happen in college football. The only thing that's a lock is the great offers from DraftKings Sportsbook. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use code BALL. New customers can score $200 in bonus bets instantly when they bet just $5 on college football. That's code BALL. Only on DraftKings Sportsbook. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit 1-800-GAMBLER.net. In New York, call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369. In Connecticut, help is available for problem gambling. Call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org. Please play responsibly. On behalf of Boot Hill Casino and Resort in Kansas, 21 and over plus age varies by jurisdiction. Void in Ontario. See bkng.co/football for eligibility, terms, and responsible gaming resources. Bonus bets expire 7 days after issuance. Eligibility and deposit restrictions apply.
This is Beyond with Chris Broussard and Rob Parker.
The Angels at least have a better chance of re-signing Ohtani now that he's injured. Again, they didn't want him to be injured, of course. It's almost like the Niners, they just lucked into Brock Purdy, and this could be you lucking into a situation where you get to keep the best player in baseball.
With Chris Broussard and Rob Parker. On your smart speaker, say play Fox Sports 910. Points, powered by the Sportsbook at CAZ Sports Bar in Casino, Arizona, exclusively on Fox Sports 910.
A great day here at the CAZ Sportsbook at Casino, Arizona. The place is packed. 3 huge fantasy drafts going on right now. The TVs in front of the Sportsbook are packed, and we've got random people in here just placing wagers, having lunch, having some drinks. Just a great atmosphere, and all the big screens fired up with real live football on it, and we're thrilled to be here every Saturday from 11 to 1. All right, it is that time when we get into our picks, guys. It's for real. Games for real. We complained about not having games all summer long, and Jackson, we're getting ready to go, and we're going to be on.
Yeah, we got our picks rolling up here. We're also going to do maybe our Super Bowl predictions and stuff like that as well. But no, it's new season. You're right. So Batter won season 1, Gross won season 2. This is my time to win
Jackson.
Too.
I'm just glad you aren't still talking about horse racing and your dumb luck for horse racing.
Almost a triple crown.
I used to watch MacGyver, therefore I like this horse. Isn't that what their pick was at one time? All right, let's get it going. We've got a couple games we're going to pick, and then we're going to give you our locks of the week.
Yeah, so North Carolina minus 2.5 against South Carolina. The over-under is at 63.5.
As I said a minute ago, this is a battle of 2 quarterbacks that will be playing on, will at least be on rosters a year from now. I think Spencer Rattler gets drafted, maybe not a top pick, but a shot in the league, and then Drake May, of course, is at the top of many, many draft boards. And I think this is a great matchup for individual reasons, but also 2 teams, proximity, a little bit of rivalry. I like North Carolina, that 2.5. I don't know where we ended up. I've got 2.5 here at the Sportsbook with 2.5-point favorite. Give me North Carolina, lay those 2.5 points. I'll take that all day.
For me, I'm so back and forth on this, but I'm going to have to agree with you, Gross. I just think with Mac Brown, veteran head coach, Drake May, way better quarterback. And I know their defense isn't very good, but, I mean, offensively, he's going to have them dialed. I'm going to go UNC as well.
I'm also leaning UNC. Hey, look, quarterback play right off the bat. Spencer Rattler, great story here locally. That's great. Drake May's arguably the best quarterback in college football. Apologies to Caleb Williams.
I don't disagree with you. Do not disagree.
Look, if this was 3.5, I'd be looking a little different. It's not. It's 2.5. Give me Tar Heel Blue. Also, I mean, they just look way better than that mess of jerseys that the Gamecocks have. Come on, terrible.
All right, so the second game, the biggest game of the whole weekend, number 5 LSU versus number 8 Florida State. This will be played at a neutral site, 4:30 p.m. LSU is favored by 2, over under 56.5.
Yeah, that's exactly what Casino Arizona has it on their sheets here, and I don't have a good feel for this game. I think it's 2 teams that are out there looking to make a statement. They're kind of on the outside looking in real upper echelon of football. And if you can make a statement winning a game like this, you can maybe enter that conversation. But I don't know which way I think it's going to land. So with that in mind, I'll go the under 56.5. I think, they're early in the season. They're going to be feeling each other out. 56.5. Give me the under in Sunday's game from Orlando.
Gosh,
there you go.
So back and forth on this game, guys, but I got to go with the SEC at the end of the day. I'm going to go LSU -2 to cover and win out this game.
All right, so we got the we got the under. We got LSU. Hey, Jackson, I feel like I'm just copying you, but I love this pick as well. You guys already know when we put out our picks at the beginning of the season, I had LSU as my dark horse for the college football playoff. I'm not going to abandon them by any means now. I think that campaign for a potential playoff spot to outduel Georgia, to outduel Alabama possibly in the SEC begins tomorrow. I think LSU not only beats FSU, covers the 2.5. I might go ahead and walk up and see what I can do about teasing, adding a few points. I think LSU wins big time in this one. Let's say I probably 7.5, 8. I would tease LSU as well. Wow. Feel very confident about the Tigers.
All
right. Now up to our locks. So we're going to do this every single segment, and we're going to come back with our own rejoin next week. But, guys,
it's our lock of the week. There's your rejoin.
Thank you.
Done.
I'm gonna
Production.
I'm going to go Coastal Carolina plus 15.5. Look, UCLA, new quarterback without Dorian Thompson-Robinson. They lose Zach Charbonnet, a running back. They've got a good transfer in there. But again, Coastal Carolina, veteran quarterback, 6-year quarterback, Grayson McCall. I like the Chanticleers to cover.
How about this? And I think a good point a moment ago talking about Utah. Everybody's ready to crown USC and what they're going to do this year in the Pac-12. I like Washington today. They're getting ready to kick off. Somebody just jumped into Lake Washington off a boat. Is it tailgating or boat gating, whatever you
sailgating.
do? Going to a Huskies game. They're 14-point favorites over Boise State. Look, Boise State is a quality football program. I just think this is time for Washington to turn it around, and they've been on the outside looking into these conversations. Again, maybe not at the same level that LSU and Florida State are when I say that, but again, you've got teams like Utah, like Washington, like Oregon in this Pac-12 that are looking to make statements, and this is a perfect opportunity, a game that's on national TV. So I like Washington -14 today at home against Boise State.
Our good friend who joins us every week, Marco D'Angelo, his free pick at wagertalk.com this week. He likes Washington as well. So there you go. You guys are in lockstep. You didn't even know that.
Nope.
And he's out there offering that free pick, so he did like Washington as well. Guys, I'm gonna go to Thursday. Thursday night. Maybe I'm saying this out of pure fandom, what have you, but my lock of the week is the Kansas City Chiefs, the defending Super Bowl champions, to cover 6.5. You give me Patrick Mahomes versus Jared Goff. You give me Patrick Mahomes and less than a touchdown at Arrowhead against Jared Goff. I know that Dan Campbell likes to bite kneecaps, whatever, but give me the Super Bowl champs. Yeah, they lost some pieces in the offseason. I understand, but give me the Chiefs at home. I am right in that. Chiefs -6.5. Lock it up.
I think that's an interesting call because everybody's on this Detroit Lions team. There's a lot to like right now. But Kansas City's there. Been there, done that, on their stage, in their building. I like the Chiefs as well. It's not my pick, but I agree with you, Bauer. This is a big stage for the Lions, and it's going to take some getting used to for them. It doesn't mean I don't think they're in the conversation to win the NFC North, but this is a big stage. And I like Kansas City as well.
Guys, Colorado 45, TCU 42. There's 48 seconds left at second 5, but TCU's only got one timeout. Colorado has just upsetted 17 TCU.
Victory formation.
Guys, Shedeur Sanders, 37 for 46, 510 yards, and 4 touchdown passes. Wow.
You got about 50 minutes left to vote in last week's poll question that we posted Fox 910 Saturday, and it is college football related, and you can wager on this. Does Caleb Williams repeat as the Heisman Trophy winner this year, or does someone else grab it? We gave you 3 choices. Caleb Williams +400, Jaden Daniels +1100, Sam Hartman, Notre Dame quarterback, +1200. And like I said, there's a few minutes left to vote in this poll. Right now, our listeners are decidedly on Sam Hartman. 48%, just over 48% for Sam Hartman, just under 39% for Caleb Williams, and Jaden Daniels at 3%. Jackson, how did you vote in that poll?
I voted Sam Hartman, but after watching Colorado's game, I think we need to add Mr. Travis Hunter into the mix. I mean, an interception. He had a touchdown offensively. I mean, this guy's playing both ways the entire game. Over 150 snaps played for Travis Hunter.
Bauer, how'd you go on that one?
Caleb Williams. Just like on the air last week, I'm going with the chalk. Give me Caleb Williams.
I went with Sam Hartman, but I wanted to go Caleb Williams. I just feel like the bar is higher for Caleb Williams than anybody else in the field. You won it last year, so you need to do more than you did last year. That's the expectation.
That should not factor in. He needs to
ask
do
Lamar
more. He needs to do
Jackson.
more than everybody else in football, not more than the ghost of himself from last year.
Ask Lamar Jackson how that worked out after he won it and came back. Interesting thing to keep an eye on. And I'm going to ask you guys, we got about a minute left, so we'll have to be quick here. A lot of people speculating that the Cardinals ready to move on from Kyler Murray. They really want Caleb Williams. And obviously we can watch this season unfold. Are you that much more sold on Caleb Williams over Drake May, Jackson? I mean, you think about the game that translates to the NFL. I'm not 100% on Caleb Williams as it stands right now.
I am. Let's stop. He's
the
real deal. The ceilings, the sky's the roof for this guy. I mean, what I saw even on last week, the bobbled snap, and to just quickly get a throw off his back foot 52 yards. This guy's got it. This guy's got the leadership.
Yep.
He's got the it. However, Drake May's not far behind. It's slim pickings. I could see, obviously, Drake May, but it'll come down to those interviews and the behind the scenes and how you can, go on the board, write this play against this coverage. Go, what do you see in these progressions? That's what's going to set Drake May apart, I think, is the interview process when it comes down to the NFL draft.
Both of these guys in the NFL right now are in the same division, and they're both very good quarterbacks, and that is Patrick Mahomes and Justin Herbert. Let's compare these quarterbacks to those two guys. Caleb Williams is your Patrick Mahomes style type player with, you mentioned, that 52-yard back foot crate. That's more your Drake May. I'd take either one of those guys on my football team right now.
We'll step aside here, come back. Casey from the Sportsbook here at CAZ Sports. He joins us next on Fox Sports 910.
Take the points. Powered by the Sportsbook at CAZ Sports Bar in Casino, Arizona continues next on Fox Sports 910 and the free iHeartRadio app.
We're your neighbors. You should stop by for a visit. We're Casino, Arizona. Come on in. Our slots are spinning, our dealers are dealing, and everyone's yelling bingo. Isn't it about time you see your friends again? So stop by to say hello. Stay a while. Relax. Enjoy yourself. We'd love to see you again. Hey, this place was made to entertain.
Yeah.
We're your Casino, Arizona.
If you have the first overall pick, make sure you select Twin Peaks for your fantasy football draft party. Stay cool under pressure with 29 draft beers, bites for the whole team, plus a $50 bonus card for the commish and an additional $5 bonus card for every drafter. Visit TwinPeaksRestaurant.com/fantasy draft for more info.
Hey, sports fans, celebrate every big game with El Bandito Yankee, an ultra-premium tequila made from 100% Blue Weber agave in the highlands of Jalisco. Their certified additive-free Blanco and Reposado features a unique oxygenation process for a rich smoothness without that tequila burn. It's why they won platinum and gold medals and are now listed as one of the world's top tequilas by Rolling Stone. Head over to your local store, favorite bar, or restaurant in all 7 Barrio Queen locations. Go to elbanditoyankee.com and break out the Bandito with the official tequila of game day.
Escape the scorching heat and get indoors at Putting World's 18-hole putting experience. Stay cool while mastering the greens and having a blast with family and friends. Visit Putting World today.
Rock for WrightToyota.com. At Wright Toyota, they'd like you to get to know them. Their goal is to make buying your next vehicle the kind of experience that earns your recommendation to family and friends. They invite you to use all of their innovative web tools on WrightToyota.com. So if you're looking for a new or pre-owned Toyota, head to their interactive website at WrightToyota.com. The right price, the right selection, all at WrightToyota.com.
Hey, this is Kelly Cooper. Are you ready for the ultimate sports experience? Look no further than BKD's Backyard Joint. At BKD's, we're the destination for the best food, drinks, and sports experience in the Valley. Located at the corner of Pecos and McQueen and Chandler, BKD's Backyard Joint, where every day is game day.
A homeowner just like you.
Hey.
Decides to fix his roof.
Okay.
He backs up his truck, ties one end of the rope to the bumper and the other to himself.
Smart.
He's working on the backside of the roof until...
What? Wait, no.
Yes, Dad was in tow.
Ooh, was he hurt?
A few bruises and his pride.
Save yourself with State 48 Roofing, offering maintenance, repairs, and replacements. Of course, licensed, insured, and bonded. From residential to commercial. State48roofing.com.
Tune in Mondays from 1 to 4 as Rockin' Minuch with Jimmy B broadcasts live from the CAZ Sportsbook in Casino, Arizona. The Sportsbook at the CAZ Sports Bar in Casino, Arizona is sports fans' paradise. That's the guys, live every Monday from CAZ Sportsbook in Casino, Arizona.
A small commitment at least one day a week helps reduce ground-level ozone pollution and helps us all breathe easier. Walk to lunch, skip the drive-thru, and go inside. Visit maricopa.gov/AQ to learn how you can help.
Do you have heart failure and often hear,
"Those stomach issues ruined your birthday"?
"You're too tired to play catch, Grandpa."
Sweetie, you haven't touched your tools since the carpal tunnel syndrome diagnosis.
If these seemingly unrelated symptoms sound familiar, talk to your cardiologist. Ask about transthyretin amyloid cardiomyopathy, or ATTR-CM, a rare and underdiagnosed disease that gets worse over time. Learn more at connecttoyourheart.com. That's connecttoyourheart.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
time for the best bets, locks, and daily wager picks, courtesy of the CAZ Sportsbook in Casino, Arizona. Now joining the guys is CAZ Sportsbook expert Casey Walsh from Boston, exclusively on Fox Sports 910.
Yeah, your agent sent that over.
From Boston.
There you go. I love it. I love it.
Casey Walsh.
He said, hey, you can have Casey on the show. As we do every week when you come on, the first thing we ask you is our poll question of the week, which you can find at Fox 910 Saturday on the platform formerly known as Twitter. Does Caleb Williams repeat as the Heisman Trophy winner, Casey, this year, or does someone else got it? Caleb Williams at plus 400, Jaden Daniels plus 1,100, Sam Hartman plus 1,200, or do you go off the board and take somebody that's not on that list?
No, I still like Caleb Williams to do it, but I mean, after the performances today, I might like Shedeur Sanders or Travis Hunter.
Well, you're like our friend Jackson here. You are the first thing you're talking about coming up, getting ready to join us, is the performance by the CU Buffs in Fort Worth today. Look, I know you were talking before the game, take the over, but the way they played, the final score of this game, I would say by every measure, the Buffs exceeded everyone's expectations.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. And even when I say the over, I didn't expect Colorado to score the amount of points they did. But, yeah, I mean, they looked really good. Now that, under 3.5 looks pretty for the season. But, I mean, I think a lot of people overreact now after this. So we'll see how they
by the 45 points offensively. I mean, they played well defensively too, but I mean, the thing that shocked me the most, Casey, is Travis Hunter playing both ways the entire game. He didn't lose composure, didn't lose a step, played 100% the entire game.
Yeah, it was absolutely amazing. Yeah, just like you said, didn't miss any snaps, played both sides of the ball nonstop.
But Casey, we got to ask, because we did our locks for the afternoon games. And then Bauer talked about the Chiefs-Lions. Is there a game you kind of have circled, maybe an over-under or a spread that you like later on this afternoon for college football?
I mean, it just started. I like the over in this Western Kentucky, South Florida game, over 69. I'm also a little bit, it's a little off the radar, but I'm leaning a little bit again, USC under, as well as kind of taking Coastal Carolina plus the 15.5. today against UCLA.
Jackson mentioned that one as well earlier when we did our picks. Guys, I want to pivot back just for a second to the CU team. It's going to be really interesting a week from today. In fact, when we're here at the Sportsbook, this game will be going on, broadcast live on Fox. Nebraska, who lost their opener with their new head coach, and obviously talking about the big win by the Buffs. This is really interesting to me because these guys were rivals back in the day. Back in the 80s, Bill McCartney coaching the Buffs, and a lot of bad blood between Colorado and Nebraska. It's kind of waned a little bit here. Now they're going to, renew rivalries. They played last year, but this one will be really interesting. I can't wait to see where the number comes in because I don't think Nebraska is as bad as they looked, and it'll be interesting to see how Colorado can keep this momentum going, Casey.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, just like you said, I can't wait as well because as far as I remember, I'm pretty sure the look-ahead line was Nebraska minus 7.5 in this game.
Mm-hmm.
So it'll be interesting to see where they adjust that line now after today's performance with Colorado.
How's it looking sportsbook-wise? I mean, obviously, the NFL starts on Thursday. Lions, Chiefs, have you been seeing people kind of bet more on the Week 1 games as it approaches on Thursday?
Here and there, not as much yet. Mostly has been pretty much college football. We've taken a lot of bets. Everybody fading the Cardinals now, especially after cutting Colt McCoy, going with Dobbs at quarterback. So we've seen a lot of teaser bets coming in on the Commanders, getting them down to 1 or a pick 'em.
I'm interested in that, right? Especially at the win total for the Cardinals. Like, everybody's shocked that they released Colt McCoy. What was Colt McCoy going to do with this roster? The way it was, like he wasn't going to win games single-handedly. Like, this was going to be a bad team, and releasing Colt McCoy or keeping Colt McCoy wasn't going to move that number that much anyway.
Yeah, I agree with that completely. I mean, he doesn't really throw the ball. It's more or less run, just game managing. I feel the same exact way.
Yeah.
Real quickly, before we let you go, baseball. Diamondbacks' big win last night here at the stadium over the Orioles. Game 2 tonight goes off at 5:10. How's the interest in the Diamondbacks as they remain in this wild card conversation?
Today, there probably won't be much interest in it, but during the week for sure, people are still coming in. But no, we'll definitely have some action coming in. People still rooting for them.
And coming up, which I got to believe will drive traffic and interest, is 7 games against the Cubs. The Cubs, in and of themselves, are a big interest here in Arizona, a competitive Diamondbacks team, so we'll keep an eye on that. Casey, real quick, what do you got going on if somebody's coming in and wants to come see you at the CAZ Sportsbook?
Yeah, come on in. We have plenty of food, drink specials. I heard they don't have the breakfast sandwiches back yet, but I'm told next week. But, hey, come on down. Hopefully they'll be here for the boys.
Better be next week.
Food specials, drink specials. Come on down, see us. Open every day from 8 to 11.
Come on and see Casey. He's here behind the desk, him, Jack, the entire team. Casey, good stuff as always. We'll do it again next Saturday. All right, guys, as we get ready to get out of here, we will get ready to put our final thoughts on this. And we're going to send some stuff out on social media. We got 3 things we're going to do. Number 1, we'll get our Twitter poll, or it just doesn't sound right.
Twitter.
The X poll question of the day.
Good.
I don't like it. We'll do our weekly question. We'll get one of those out. Appreciate everybody voting on that. We get a lot of interest, and then we wrap it up every week with Casey giving his thoughts on the poll. Number 2, Jackson created a nice graphic where we locked in our college football playoffs. We'll get that one out so you can see us and hold us accountable. See who's playing the role of what's his name on the Saturday morning show? Desmond Howard. That'll be me. And then the third thing we'll do, since I guess I wasn't paying attention during the last break, we will get our NFL picks out before Thursday's game.
Yeah.
We'll put them out, but probably better that way. They'll be on social media. You'll be able to see it. And then when I blow it in October, you'll be able to laugh at me and say, hey, dude, remember when you said the Lions weren't going to be that good? Yeah, guess what? They clinched the division in October.
Briefly, though, we'll do our Super Bowl picks. We have our playoff picks up on our social media at Fox 910 Saturday. But for me, guys, for the Super Bowl, I'm going to Eagles-Chiefs, another rematch. And I think the Eagles win the Super Bowl this year and take it over. Bauer?
So my Super Bowl MVP is Joe Burrow. So the Chiefs aren't going to be in the Super Bowl, which is a bummer because I'm a Chiefs fan. They're my backup team when the Bears are eliminated in like the second week of the season every year. But I am going Bengals over Eagles. So the Eagles make it back, and it's heartbreak for the IGGL or whatever. How would they spell Eagles?
All right.
I know they spell it Eagles, but then they say Eagles.
It's bad radio because that's literally what I was just going to say. I didn't have the MVP pick, but I had Bengals over the Eagles. But
I got all the wild cards.
So I am not. I can't do this, so I'm going to pivot away from that so that we're not in agreement.
With me because I'm
Make mine the Bills over the Eagles. I like the Eagles back from the NFC, and I like the Bills out of the AFC. That's going to do it for this week's show. Don't forget, Rock and Manuch, Monday through Friday, 1 to 4. We'll see you next Saturday, Fox Sports 910.